We do this too, we're bringing that fire. Talking real talk, Kentucky's on fire. From bourbon to ball games, we got that flow. On the We Do This Too podcast, yeah, you know. From country roads to the city lights, they bring the heat, man, every night. We do this too, let's make it clear. If you ain't listening, you ain't here.
Welcome back, y'all. It's another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. And as always, we are presented to you in partnership with brands that we feel represent the very best of the outdoor industry. So before we get started, we'd like to give a special shout out to Moultrie Products, Ullers Archery, Threads Custom Bowstrings, G5 Outdoors, Blackburn Apparel Company, Deer Pimp Scents and Lures, Vision Clothing, Bluebird Waterfowl Company, Angry Chicken Outdoors, Alps Outdoors, and last but certainly not least, a special shout out to the good folks over at Briley's for leaving a legacy of shooting innovation. Whether you need new cameras to elevate the scouting experience, new arrows, or anything for your archery setups, clothing, scent, or whatever it may be, as a supporter of the podcast, you can use promo code WDTT promo. That's WDTT promo for 15% off anything on the website at ullersarchery.com. Some exclusions may apply. With that being said, let's dive into another episode of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast with your host, Mr. Courtney Williams. What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the We Do This Too Outdoors podcast. I'm your host, Courtney Williamson. I've got a super special guest today on. He is the owner, CEO of Deer Pimp Scents and Lures. I've heard a lot of good stuff from this guy. I know him very personally. He's a great guy. A lot of people have been asking me about your company. So finally, guys, I've got him on. Yes, he has a Mac Daddy with him to show, because a lot of people's been asking me about that. So Wes Brewer, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing, buddy?
Oh man, no, that's a lot to live up to now. I wish you would have just said, "Hey, this is Wes." Then I could just build off of that. Now it's like you're already there.
Yeah,
Glad to be
good.
here. I appreciate you giving me a chance to give our voice out here.
No problem, man. You know, I had a guy on last week, Tom Fleischer of the Scrape Rope Company, and you know, he's kind of got a scrape rope kit, kind of like you have. That's what he's been doing. That's his company. And so I had a lot of people in my inbox after that episode came out and was like, dude, that Deer Pimp Scent guy that you talking about with the Mac Daddy, like, you need to get him on like right after that. But he said that would be a perfect podcast.
Awesome.
Said, well, he lives right down the road from me. I said, all I got to do is call him as long as he's not busy or on the road. So ladies and gentlemen, he's here. So
he's here. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. I've been looking forward to that call. I wasn't gonna nudge you too much, you know, but I was hoping you tap me on the shoulder at some point.
Well, I like I said, I've got, like, people think that I just get random people, but I literally have a list here on my desk of people that I kind of try to go seasonal. So if turkey hunting's in, I try to get people that talk about turkey hunting. Deer season's in, I try to get people to talk about deer hunting and so forth, so on, like that. So you're definitely been on my list. So I'm glad to finally get you on, and I appreciate you. So we'll hop right in, man. Wes, for the folks that don't know you, introduce yourself.
Yeah, and I guess before I kick it off, man, I just want to say, hey, we're happy to sponsor you and the podcast and everything you do, just to give another voice for sportsmen out there. There are some, but there's not enough. And in this world and age we live in, I mean, I think everybody sees it's kind of trailing off a little bit. So just want to say thanks for what you do, and we're glad to support you. So me, my name is Wes Brewer. I have two girls. One's going into her senior year. Makes me feel pretty old, which is the bald head, dude. I gave up this year. I started shaving this year, so I'm getting used to having to shave like every day, and a lot more grays. And then my youngest one, Ava Grace, she's going into 8th grade. They're both out here at LaRue County. So she's volleyball and cheerleading, both things. I grew up with a brother. I don't know anything about any of it. But volleyball, I can get into and watch more so than cheer. So um, I've been fortunate enough to where I went to college, got a finance degree. I work remote, so I do have a career, I guess a real career, right? And then my side hustle is deer farming. And then, the scents and urine piece of that we call Deer Pimp scents and lures.
Sounds good. That's awesome. Well, for the people who don't know about LaRue County, Kentucky, it is the birthplace of Abraham Lincoln. We're right in the middle of bourbon country. We got Bardstown, Kentucky, right down the road from us. We got Louisville, right up the road from us. Where the Derby's held and where Muhammad Ali's from, Louisville Slugger. Jim Beam's here, Martin's here. All the good bourbons that everybody drinks is right around us. But we're known for birthplace of Abe Lincoln. So growing up here in LaRue County, Abe Lincoln is like the big thing. People come in from miles and miles around to see Abe, birthplace where he's from or whatever. So most people don't know we're a huge hunting town. We're a big hunting town. There's a lot of people here that hunt. There's a lot of people here that love deer hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So anything to give these deer hunters an edge, they're going to use it. So tell us a little bit about the deer that you raise on your farm and what makes your setup unique from other farms.
Yeah, I'll talk about the farm, right? So our farm name is Bonehead Whitetails, which, if you know me for very long, that kind of fits my personality. I ain't always the sharpest, but I try to do the best I can, whatever I'm doing. So Bonehead Whitetails is what it is. We started 5 years ago, and I fenced in an acre of land here in the back. So I got 40 acres that I had bought back in 2018. Thankfully, I got in pre-COVID. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing this.
Right.
So fenced in an acre, 8 foot tall fence. Has certain specifications you have to have. 11-foot post, 3 feet in the ground, high tensile fencing. It's a lot. There's a lot to it. So I kind of stumbled along, and I got it right, got her done, and I bought 4 bred doe. So when you're deer farming and you start out, that's the biggest bang for your buck, is to buy some pregnant deer. And for me, I bought 4 from a guy right down here in Campbellsville, and I lucked out. He's a great guy, a great deer. And that first year, I had 1 buck fawn and 7 doe fawns, which is definitely heavy on the doe side. As a deer farmer, you want bucks, right? So I was a little bummed, but he was the first male in my household in years, between my dogs and my girls. And so I already had a name. His name's Macho Man. So as soon as I went and checked him, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know what your name is. And that next year at 1 year old, I mean, he's incredible. He's 282 inches. He was 33 and a quarter inches inside spread. He's the guy that I got a picture. I'm gonna see if I don't know if you can see this or not. Right. So this is that's him, and I use him all throughout my products. I bottle raised him on milk, and I mean he's my buddy. So I wasn't too upset that I only had 1 buck. It took me a year to get over it because of what he became, and he's paid for his life here on the farm. Um, so I mean that's how I started. It can be as expensive as you want to, or it can be as cheap as you're able to resource. I'm a cheap guy. I think I started at 1 acre of fence. I bought my dart gun, bought all my deer, bought my fencing, my gates, my meds, and I was probably, again, I'm cheap, right? So I resourced a lot of this. I cut down my own cedar trees. About $8,000 is what I had in it to start with. So I had saved up and committed to that, and I love it. I really do, and that's where I'm at right now, right? And if you want me to go back a little bit, like I said, you're gonna have to tell me to shut up occasionally, or hey, you want to jump in? Feel free to cut me off.
You're good.
Otherwise, okay, good, because I'll start chasing rabbits, and then we'll be talking about astronauts or something else here in a second.
You're good,
So,
man. I let it flow.
okay, good deal. So, as a kid, I get the question, how did this all start for me? As a kid, I think it's a lot of familiar stories where Dad had some land. Actually, Papa had some land. Dad took me hunting back when I was just like me and you were talking before the show started, right? With your boy, about 7, 8 years old. And,
Yeah.
I had as much patience as, I don't know, 20 minutes, right? And I'd be doing well. And then, and back then we didn't have a phone like, hey, here, watch this, Like, now
Right.
you can kind of,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, put these headphones in and go. But back then, man, my feet was freezing. And, I quit hunting for a while because I got into high school and I had some other priorities around that time frame, and then got married. I'm not going to say it's because I needed to get out of the house, but I got back into hunting, and man, I fell in love with it again. And just going, and for me, it's the spending time with my dad, my papa, my dad's buddy. He would go with us, and we would hang out, have a good time, cut up. Um, Papa was a character. He was a wild man and one of a kind. He's gone now. I miss him. He's been gone for about 8 years, but man, I can still vividly see him. And if you went hunting and you saw a deer and you didn't shoot it and he found out, you were getting your butt ripped. And he didn't care if it was a spike or a fawn. He is the epitome of the meat hunter. And I'll say this, right? Scout's honor. I think I did everything by the letter of the law.
You
I ain't
think
gonna
so,
say
anyway?
Paps did.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Um, yeah, and that's where the love come in for me. And as I got older, of course, we had the girls. We bought some land we were going to build on out here in LaRue County. Originally, I don't know if I should admit this, right? But originally, I'm from Shepherdsville. That's where I grew up there,
Oh,
called Bullitt
Bullet
County.
County.
I know. And I've been out here for probably close to, man, 17 years, I guess. So we bought this land. I wanted to do something with it, and I didn't know anything about cattle, and I knew I didn't want horses, but I
Yeah.
knew you could deer farm.
Right.
And I know myself pretty well that I need something that's going to hold my interest. That's not just going to be like a 2 or 3 year thing, and like this gets it. And I still go out there, and it's the coolest thing in the world to me.
Yeah. So when you started Deer Pimp, was there like a niche that you were trying to fill in the industry, or was it just something that you were like, I need to do something with this land? And I don't want a cattle farm. I don't want to, I don't want to put
Yeah,
horses on here. Like, what was your strategy kind of going into it?
I mean, none. None strategy, right? Not great. Not a great way to start. So, like I said, we started 5 years ago, but the urine business, which is the Deer Pimp, that was only 2 hunting seasons ago. So about a year and a half ago is all that's been in existence. Um, I mean, the animals, you got to love the whitetail. So for me, it was farming and it was raising genetics, right? Like
Yeah.
I told you, I had Macho Man was 1 year old, 282 inches. That's
Right.
nuts.
Yeah. That's
And
insane.
yeah, even for deer farming, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and so selling his offspring to other farmers that are going to be using his genetics to increase their herd size. Um, I drew semen on him for artificial insemination, just like you would in like a bull market. And I've sold plenty of straws to where he's now a father, I guess, to some deer up in Pennsylvania and in Florida. I think Indiana, and then here in Kentucky too, across different farms, um, which is an experience of itself just to go through that process that I didn't know too much about till it was going down. I'm like, we gonna put that where? you know.
Right.
Yeah, and so here's a little side story, right? So drawing on these animals, I had a vet come out, and anytime that we deer farmers work on a deer, we have to sedate them. They're not. I mean, like I can get up and pet him. Loves animal crackers, but as soon as I pull out like a dart gun or he knows something's not normal, he's gone. Like I can't get close to him. So we sedate him, 1 year old, put him on the stretcher. Buddy Eric helped me carry him to the vet. And then to the vet, he was at my place. So the vet was up there waiting on us. And then he pulled out his little electrode, dude. And I think I knew it was about to go down. And so I had Eric hold the electrode. And the guy looked at him and said, "Okay, go ahead and put it in." He did and cranked on that sucker, and he said that sucker tried to suck it on in there, but I mean, we collected it. I bet this is probably like a PG-13 episode. I don't know,
You're
but
good, man.
it was wild, dude. It was wild. I mean, he was making anyway. So yeah, he's paid for his life there. So the farming side, I did that for a few years and just figuring it out, man. There's not any book. There's not a ton of farmers. There's 120 of us here in the state of Kentucky. There's probably there's probably more than a few thousand, but I'd say right around there in all the U.S. We're pretty tight knit, and then we know most of everybody because if I get an animal sick, I can call the vet, but that old time deer farmer is going to know a lot more
Right.
than your vet on cervid, which is the species of whitetail here. So did that for a few years, learned, and then I got another itch of like, hey, I think I can figure out how to collect urine. And I had a business degree, so I thought I could, I always wanted to run my own like public style business. And then I think it was probably like September. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to file for the name, figure out how to make these stalls and start collecting, bottling, designing labels, marketing. And it's a lot. Collecting is half the battle. And then the marketing and advertising and the other piece, that's the other 50% of the business. You just got to keep with it, and hopefully, I think we're going to do a real hard push this year. I don't think a lot of people know who we are yet, but when they see our products and the results, I'm hoping that it starts taking off, and I got to start collecting more and more deer just to fulfill the demand.
Yeah. So what sets your urine apart from like other companies? Because some stuff that you get off the shelf, you don't know how long it's been sitting there. You don't know like where it's been bottled. You don't know if it's synthetic or good or non-synthetic, I should say. Like, what sets yours apart? I know it's fresh,
Yep.
but like, what sets it apart from like your normal typical store-bought stuff?
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of different brands and different, I won't say gimmicks, but like sales pitches. For me, I can tell you it's 100% fresh. It's from a single deer. I could tell you the deer's name depending on when I bottle it. I have to. So obviously, the good stuff is when they're in estrus, when the doe's in heat.
Right.
I can't wait for that to naturally happen because everybody's going to come into heat at different times, and you're not always going to know that they are. So we being me and my girls, we have to cycle them into heat. So it's like a 2 week long process where I'll sedate one of my does. She'll go to sleep. I'll put a cedar in them, CIDR. It's looks like a flux capacitor almost that goes inside of them and starts to synchronize the girls. 2 weeks after that's in there, 10 to 14 days ish, I'll put them back to sleep. I take it out, and then I give them a hormone shot, and then they're going to be in heat very quick after that. And so that second time that they're going out, they'll wake up in a stall in the barn that's raised off the floor, 18 inches, 2 feet off the ground. It's got a mesh rubber coated floor inside of it, and it's, solid walls. They got food and water. They got a red light in there that keeps them calm, but they can still see. And then they stay in there and do their business for about a day or a day and a half, and then everything underneath there funnels down and filters into a vat essentially. And so as that deer does their business, I go and check throughout the day and collect and replace the buckets and the vats, and then bring it to the house. We'll strain it, and then, man, at that point, it's putting it into our bottles, and then when it's ready, it's going out the door very quickly after that. We can cycle a deer into heat. It's not going to be a real strong estrus cycle, though. You can start in September, and
Right.
then October, November. Like I can recycle the same girls. So I've got groups of them. Like, I'll stagger them by a few days. Like I'll do these 8 this day, and then I'll wait 3 days and I'll do this 8. And then by the time these are in the stall, I'm then darting these girls, and then these come out and these go in, and
Right.
keep them rotating and keep collecting. And dude, it's not a fabulous job, but it's weird. I do like it. It's I still get to go out there and quote unquote shoot a deer. I mean, these dart guns are pretty wicked. Um, and just putting them to sleep, and it's game on after you get that first one. They wise up really quick to it. So I think what sets us apart is it's fresh. It's 100% one deer per bottle. We're small town, right? We ain't a big company. We're not making millions, better than making hundreds, I'd say. And
Yeah,
I mean,
100
it's
there.
yeah, right. And I mean, this is our stuff. We're not private labeling it. I think that's what a lot of the stuff is, and there's nothing wrong with it at all, right? I mean, I get it if you can bring it to a market, but for me, buying from the source means a little bit more to us.
Right. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about like the science that goes into, because I know um if I'm getting into something like that, like for the first time, like, hey, I'm gonna start a dairy farm, I'm
Yep,
gonna start, pulling urine, I'm gonna start doing, this, I would not even know where to begin. So like how did
right.
you learn all how did you learn all like the science behind that? Was it like somebody that kind of walked you through, or did you go Google, Chat GPT? How
Well, I mean
walk
that,
us
yeah,
through
that wasn't a thing back then, man.
that.
Um, uh, Screw up a lot, and then find somebody that's willing to put some time into you and your business that have been doing it for a while. So I've got a really good friend up in Winchester, Kentucky, that has been he's been my friend since the beginning. He's been doing it for I don't know how many years. He does it full time. Probably got the best deer in the state. His name's Tony. Um, Big, beautiful deer, man, and that's what I'm trying to build towards. I bought some deer from him over the years, and it's really, for collecting the urine side, man, it really was trial and error. Like my first time out, I was like, I bet because I bottle raised a lot of my girls too. I was like, oh man, I bet I could take a 1 gallon bucket, and then I'll just walk behind them and collect the pee, and there's
Right.
some guys that do that. I don't have time for that. So usually after you get them to stand up, they're going to urinate within 10 to 15 minutes. But like I said, I still got a day job. I have a family. Like I can't be following around. So then I had to start asking around these other guys that do the same thing, kind of like me, that collect the urine. Like, hey, do you care to share like how you do it? Because there's got to be a better way than what I'm doing. And there definitely was. There's one guy up in Ohio, like he has trained, I don't know how, but he has trained his deer every day. He opens the door, they walk in and get in the stall. I'm like, dude, kudos to you.
That's
'Cause
crazy.
I ain't figured out that bribery or that witchcraft yet. But
Yeah.
I mean, So that's a lot of it. And then, even the bottling of it, I do use an odorless preservative. So, and that took some trial and error. That probably took the longest amount of time, to be honest, because I wanted something that wasn't going to alter the smell, alter the chemical state of the urine. Um, but so the Mac Daddies, right? Like that's my biggest selling product. I don't want somebody to have to refrigerate that urine all the time because it gets cumbersome and then it's going to go bad because we forget about stuff, right? Like I do.
Right.
So
Right.
if that urine sits in a pack overnight, it's going to start breaking down. So I figured out an odorless preservative that works, that'll keep it for a year and a half. You can extend it by refrigerating it. I do recommend, no matter what you buy, refrigerate it in your off months. You don't want it to get too hot. It just helps extend it. Don't freeze it, especially if it's glass. Figured that one out because it will bust.
Yeah.
And
That's
so refrigerate
terrible
it, and
for
it's
him.
good.
Yeah. So I guess the guy that you're talking about in Winchester, Tony Maddox, is that it?
Hey, how you know Tony?
I don't. I
Okay,
know.
okay.
So when you first started, when we first met, basically, I was talking to some buddies, and I said, "Dude, I want to do this," and my buddy's like, "No, you don't."
Oh, who said that?
And he's like, "No, you don't." He said, "Dude," he said, "with your schedule and what
Yeah.
you do," he said, "There's you don't have the time." And he said, "The way that you are with like your,
They know
your
you, huh?
yeah, they know my management skills. They're like,
Okay.
no, and like the way that you got to set everything up and whatever." So I had just like got online and was typing in like deer farms around Kentucky. Solid Rock Whitetails was the first one that popped up. Tony Maddox,
Yeah,
Winchester, Kentucky. Was that Rabbit Town Road? I think is what it was.
it
And
is.
so I was looking that up, and I was like, I'm gonna call and reach out to this guy, and I never did. I said, well, I can ask Wes all these questions. Well, I was at work one day. I was talking about Hunter, off air. He said, dude,
Yeah.
he said it's very rewarding, you know, but at the same time, he's like, it takes a whole lot of work. And if you're doing it by yourself and don't have no help, like just he said, don't even get into it. He said,
Oh,
stick with your podcast, stick with your brand. That's something you don't want to get into. Now, if I ever hit the lottery, I told my wife, I said, I'm buying a deer farm. I said, I'm in West, we're gonna go into business, we're
oh
gonna
yeah,
rock
bro.
and
I'll hook you up.
roll, we'll do it all, so yeah, but yeah, that's how I know that name. So when you said
Okay.
Tony, I was like, it's gotta be him because like as soon as
Oh,
you type
it
it
is, man. Yeah, he's got, my opinion, he's got some of the best deer in the state. He's, and that's who I call, right? If I need something, Tony calls me when he needs to figure out how to open his email. He'll like that joke. And then I call him and I'm like, hey, I got one out here with pneumonia. Like, what's the dosage for Draxon? Or, like, what are you recommending? And I would not, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for him. And there was no requirements on his end. Like he just wanted to see me succeed and became buds. And yeah, check out his deer now. His Facebook page, dude. He's got their big ones. We do too, but he's got something to look at as well.
Yeah, it's always good to have that person that you can call. Like
Yes.
when I first got started, I had a guy named Trey. Me and him are like this now, like brothers.
Yep.
He's got the Dreaded Archer podcast. I've actually got one of his T-shirts on right now. He reached out to me, wanted me to hop on the podcast when I first started my brand. It's right before I started doing my podcast, so he interviewed me. Then off air, he's like, what's your end goals? I said, man, I want to start a podcast. He said, dude, I'll give you the rundown of everything, teach you everything I know, and how to interview these people, how to get in touch with these people. So you'll get 20 no's, you'll get yes. So like anytime I got a question, like I'm calling Trey, and like we even
That's
have
great.
a we have a podcast together now. called the New Jack Archers. It's me, him, and our buddy Jay. They're all from Texas. I
Okay.
told my wife, I said, if we ever move, I said I gotta go to Texas. All my boys are in Texas. You know, besides my best friend that lives up the road now, he lives in Vine Grove. You know, the rest of my homies, man, the ones that I talk to pretty much every day, they're all in Texas. You know,
Yep.
and just close knit. Anytime I need something, need something. Hey, man, I'm looking at doing this. You know, what's the best way of doing this? And I'll call one of them. They'll give me an answer. So it's always good to have, especially in your line of business. Like you said, the vets probably don't know much
No,
about
they don't,
that
man.
type of, and that's not their fault. But
No.
when somebody does like something specific, like you're doing, like you need somebody specific to talk to know what to do. So that's great that you got that other person.
It is, and hey, I do need to. I want to comment on a couple of things that you mentioned before, dude. Deer farming's not all bad. Like I'll say this, right? Like, it's seasonal in that right now I've got 47 adults out here on the farm, and then I've got 32 fawns that's born out there right now, ranging from let's see, 3 days old to 5 weeks. So, and then, I mean, we're going to get at least 15 to 20 more fawns. That's a little busy just because I'm going out and checking. I'm doing my counts, man. I'm making sure everybody looks good, and they do. Knock on wood here. Um, and then the other kind of semi busy season's going to be this fall when I'm selling my bucks, right? Like I'll sell them, and then having to make sure that they're going to start fighting. And oh man, that makes me nervous because I need them antlers to stay on their head, not broke. And then they got some gnarly antlers, so I can't get them all hooked up together and end up killing one another. So the ones that I end up keeping, which there'll be at least 2 or 3 that I keep just because they're my breeders. Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior. I need to pick out one more. I'll sedate them and I'll cut their antlers off. That way, when they fight, they just bounce off each other.
Right.
But it does take a little time. You gotta love it. You really do gotta love it. You're not going to be a millionaire. You can make some money if you take the time to figure things out and ask for help. I mean, if you have livestock, you're going to have dead stock. I'm going to knock on wood again, man. 5 years, I've only lost one adult, and it was a freak accident that I don't think I could have avoided. But it stinks, but that is what it is, and that's a really good number for deer farming. So it's not all heartbreak. There'll be some stressful moments, but a lot of rewarding moments. And for anybody out there listening, if you want to know more about the farming side, check out whitetaildeerfarming.com. I think boneheadwhitetails.com will get you there too. That's my website for the farm side. It'll show you how I kind of built my fence and the markets and answer a lot of questions that people have.
Gotcha. Sounds good, man. Yeah, I wasn't trying to make it all to be, bad.
No,
But
I
I was
get it.
like, I
Yeah,
know.
if you got something else going, go with something else. But if you love it and you got a little time, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I love my whitetails. I love them, but farming wise, like I grew up on a tobacco farm, so
Yeah, a little
I
different.
know, yeah, I know how that grind can be, and
Yeah,
getting out there and the stress and stuff like that. But like you said, it's something you gotta love. My dad always said if you go into work every day and it's something you love, you're never working.
yeah,
So
yeah. I mean,
like I
that's
said,
at the end
you
of the
gotta love it.
day, I probably make like $1.50 an hour. When it's all said and done, just because of my time. Nobody counts their time when they run their business, but
Right.
um, it is pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, let's jump into some of the products that you offer.
All right.
Mac Daddy, man, number one. Had a lot of buddies, a lot of friends. When I posted that picture think it was maybe 2 years ago on my Instagram. They were like, "What in the world is that in the background?" I'm like, "That's Mac Daddy," and I had it sitting. I had one sitting in my window because it had stopped working because I had forgot to charge it. So I just
Yep.
had it kind of sitting in the background, and I had my other one down there, kind of by the corn pile. And
Yep.
so everybody was like, "Man, what is that?" So I'm like, send them the link, telling them what it does. I was like, "It's fresh urine." And literally, I'm sitting there like texting one of my buddies about it, and look up, and there's like $2 that come in, nose to the ground, smaller bucks, but I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god, like it's working."
Yeah. Oh, dude.
and,
Yeah, it's crazy.
and it's great. So tell us a little bit about the Mac Daddy first off.
Yeah. So, I mean, I got one here. Well, I'll demo it here for you in just a second. So I just had this idea, there's got to be a better way than just hanging a drip that, eventually goes dry, something that constantly puts it out there, doesn't cost a ton of money, like not everybody can invest in a couple $100 for something that, does
Right.
something similar. Um, and so I set out and started contacting a bunch of manufacturers saying, "Hey, this is kind of what I want to do. Do you have something?" And finally connected with one. And I mean, lo and behold, the marketing comes in. I mean, we're called Deer Pimp. Let's have a Mac Daddy. And like I said,
Right.
here's the box of it. It's got Macho Man on there, and it tells you a little bit of it about here on the back of it. But essentially, it's a urine diffuser. So we altered it to where it'll diffuse urine. I'm going to spray it, but I'm not going to do deer pee today. I got one of my cover scents today. So you take it out with you. So this is it together. You take it out with you. You're going to unscrew the bottom and just twist off. And so there's your bottom of it. And then you got your bottle. This is purple. You know what purple is?
I don't.
You ever had purple Kool-Aid?
I have. Come
Great,
on.
man. It's
Come on,
great.
bro. You see
I know,
what
I
color
just
I
said like
am.
that's like the question that everybody asks is like, what's purple? I'm like, seriously? Come on. Everybody knows what purple Kool-Aid is.
Yeah, everybody knows the purple Kool-Aid. It's purple drink.
Yeah. So you just push it up in the bottom. So there it is. Put your bottom back out. Set it on the ground. Set it on a stump. The idea is you want to put it to where you want your shot to be. Because I've got a ton of videos and pictures where deer are going to come to it and put their nose directly on top of it. So as you get it out there, I'm going to tell you just to put it on high. So it's going to spray now for 6 seconds. I don't know if you can see that. So
Oh
it's
yeah, I
spraying
can.
for 6 seconds. Oh yeah, and it'll stop, and then it repeats every 10 minutes. So once you turn it on, set it down, it's going to spray 6 seconds, stops, repeats every 10 minutes, and you're good to go at that point. Get in your stand and let it do its thing. And if there's a buck or even something else inquisitive, right? Like I've even seen does come up to it. I mean, they're gonna be curious what that is more so than what you smell like. And if it's rut season, they're looking for one thing, and this is the one thing. They're looking for that doe-in-heat, that estrus urine, and that's what comes in our standard Mac Daddy. We do have, I call it the trifecta, which is probably our biggest bang for the buck. Right now, we're selling for $59.99, and it comes with a bottle of our doe-in-heat, our dominant buck. So we do collect our bucks too, and then regular doe urine. So essentially, you're using that doe-in-heat during the rut, and you can use the buck or the regular doe, and you use that all season long. Whether you're bow hunting or hunting January or whatever your season's running to. And then, if you really, hardcore and you want your cover scents, I use a lot of cedar in mine when I'm bow hunting because I hunt out in Raywick, Kentucky, and that's a lot of cedars out that way. So we
Yeah.
got the pro kit that's got 12 cover scents in there. Purple grape being one of them, corn, vanilla, cedar, dirt, pine, blackberry. I mean, there's a bunch of them that we've got in there. So it's rechargeable. So I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little charger port right here. It comes with the charger cord, and so it's got an internal battery on a full charge. if I turned it on and left it on today, it would still be running next week. Like it would still be spitting it out. And so I mean, it's a long-term battery. You just got to charge it full once, and it's going to last you a week. And if you turn it off, it'll last even longer than a week. You know, you get a week's worth out of it.
Right.
And then that bottle, so that bottle that's in there that comes with it, you'll get 70 plus. I'll say plus, right? You'll get at least 70 hours of use out of the one bottle, which literally means you can go hunting 10 times for 7 hours, and you're just going to need the one bottle that comes with it. Like, hopefully by then you're killing whatever you're looking for, whether it's meat on the table or you're looking for the trophy.
Right.
But after that, I mean, that's a lot of use. So we've I mean, there's some competitors out there. We think we offer a more realistic whole product that's a little cheaper and works a lot better. And so that's what we're trying to push this fall, is just people to understand, hey, this is really affordable. So the Mac Daddy that's got just the doe-in-heat in it, I mean, it's $39.99. Like it's pretty reasonable. And if you catch us out at one of our fall festivals, you'll get a little bigger discount on that front too. But we sell them online at deerpimp.com. We're on Amazon now too, so we got a store out there where you can buy them direct from Amazon. And I mean, a lot of different ways for you to get it. So yeah, I mean, that's the Mac Daddy. I mean, I feel like I'm probably missing some features on it, but I mean, anything else you would want people to know about it?
No, that's pretty much, you pretty much ran it down. Everything that I basically have told people about it. You hit the nail on the head when you said, you want to put it where you want to take your shot, because the
Yeah.
deer are going to come to it.
Mhm.
So that's a big thing for that. And your cover sense. What all cover sense do you offer?
Yeah, I know I'm going to forget some of them, but like we've got sweet corn, we got blackberry, we've got grape, we've got vanilla. Dirt is probably our most popular. It smells like dirt, as crazy as it sounds. Pine, cedar, apple. Man, I'm running through them in my head. Peanut butter, and there's three more that I'm not thinking of right now at the moment, that
Okay.
we put out there.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
deerpimpscentsanдлures.com. You'll find everything that he's got on that website. So so your Mac Daddy, I'm guessing, is your top seller. What's some of your other big sellers? You got any of
Yeah.
those?
So yeah, before I move on, I just remember too, right? So these Mac Daddies, dude, if you get on our website and you get to the product page, like you'll see the videos and the pictures that hunters are sending me when they're used. Like guys are filming the deer following the trail and then putting their nose on top of the Mac Daddy. Anyway, I just, it's one of those, hey, can you prove that? Does it really work? Can you like, I don't know what else to do for you other than go look at these videos, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
there it is, it's working. So, other products that we do have a scrape rope. So, we call it an all season scrape rope. It's got, I don't have one in here with me, but it's got some pretty cool marketing graphics on the front of it too. Um, what we do is with our ropes, I'll hang them in my buck pins and I'll let them kind of slobber them up and lick them up before I take them down. And so then we take them down, put them in the packaging, and it also comes with a bottle of our Roid Rage, which is our dominant buck tarsal urine. So it's mixed with the tarsal gland and some gel beads. So the idea is you find you a rope, you want the scrape rope to hang, 3-4 feet off the ground, scrape out underneath of it, and you sprinkle some of these Roid Rage tarsal balls down on the ground. It lasts longer than a urine spray because it's concentrated in those little gel beads. So that's one of our products. Probably our number two, which was my, I mean, this is really our first product that we had. So if you can see this here, man, this is our Pimp Juice. So this is the good stuff. That's our doe-in-heat in a spray. And so it's a little throwback to Nelly there for a little bit. So our Pimp Juice, and
Oh
then
yeah.
we've got, and then our second one is, if you can see this one, this is our Turf War. It's our dominant buck urine. And a lot of guys use this for their scrapes, and even if they find a scrape, right? Like another buck did, they'll go spray this in there to kind of tick him off, and throw a camera up there around a tree and see what's really coming, check it out and clean it back out. So
Right.
that's a lot of our products. We got bundle kits online that comes with a Mac Daddy, the scrape rope, all of our urines, and then we got a cover scent spray too. That's pretty unique. That looks like it's like a deer hunting version of Fireball. Just to be honest, is what it looks like, and that's got a lot of those. It's the same 12 scents that I had mentioned earlier, as far as the corn, vanilla, and dirt, and so that bundle comes with one of each of the products, pretty much, that we have out there. So that's what we got. And between online sales, we do sell in some stores here in Kentucky, like a lot of southern states. We're in KY Gun Co. over in Bardstown and Louisville. Bardstown Mills over there in Bardstown, and Sportsman's Rod and Gun up here in E-Town. And they've been great to give me a chance. I'm just a small town farmer over here trying to sell some pea, and
Yeah.
they give me a shot, and it does well. So between online and in store, and then now Amazon and my day job and taking care of these kids, dude, it's a lot. It can be, but I love it and wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I got a text from our buddy. I'm pretty sure it was Jared Gardner last year, and he was telling me, like, he was trying to run down the story, but he was going like in circles because he was so excited.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
was like, dude, he said, go get you a Mac Daddy. I said, I got one, man. I said, I just ain't got, I haven't had any. I've had luck with it, but I haven't had my big boy come into
yeah.
it
You ain't
yet.
had the big one just yet. Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, dude, I had this thing on a log, and he said it wasn't 15 minutes. And he said, here he comes.
Oh, dude,
Nose
that's
to the
awesome.
ground. And Josh McDowell, same,
Yep.
same thing. He was telling me about. He's like, bro, go get one. I said, I've got one. I'm just waiting on Big Boy to come out. So, like, where I hunt, like, it's kind of a gift and a curse because I'm in the middle of 3 other farms. So,
Okay.
a lot of times where these bucks are coming from, they're coming from another farm. And if I do not harvest one by November the 2nd,
You
or
got to
no
get in
second
early.
week
Okay.
of
Yeah.
November, yeah, but if I don't harvest one by second week of November when the Orange Army comes in, I've got a lot of hunters around me.
Yeah. A
So
lot of pressure.
So it's a lot of pressure. You never know where them deer are coming from. And I try to get out there. I want to kill one in velvet so bad. I can
Yeah.
taste it. I about had a chance 2 years ago, and he wouldn't come in no farther. And I wasn't about to take a 70-yard shot with my bow. I mean, I probably could have made it, but I didn't want to take that chance.
Yep.
But for the guys, girls, whoever's out there that think, this is a gimmick, like he said, get online, do your due diligence, look at some of these stories, look at some of these videos, because I'm not saying this because Wes is a friend of mine. I'm saying this because I can give you 15 people's numbers right now that have used this to harvest some big deer here in Kentucky.
It's my favorite thing. Like, as much as I love the business, man, my favorite thing is when I get that message of, "Hey, guess what I just get? One's on the ground, dude. This is like." That's my favorite, and I
Yeah,
try to give the love back and tell their story on all our social media and their pictures. And man, it's to me, that's what it really. I mean, we're in business to make money, but I really do just loving the stories more than anything. And I'll be in my tree stand hunting, dude. And most of the time, if it's like opening weekend, like I'm probably getting 30 messages while I'm in the stand. I'm just reading them, and there's no telling what's happening around me. I
Right.
love the hunt, but like, dude, like I love, and I'm asking, and it's cool. And yeah, if anybody's out there and you're thinking about it, I say, man, give us a chance.
Yeah.
Check the reviews, and at that point, if you're not convinced by that point, you probably weren't going to buy one anyway, and that's okay. No big deal. We ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
But give it a shot, and then let me know what you think, good, bad, or indifferent. And if you're successful, shoot me a picture. I'd love to post it too.
Yeah. That's the same with me, man. You know, when I go into town here and, you know, somebody's like, hey, man, I listened to your podcast last week, man. It's an awesome podcast. You know, it's just that one person that comes up to you, man.
Yeah.
It makes you feel awesome. You know, it just makes you want to keep on going, even if, you know, it's just that one person or that one kid, you know, or whatever. I mean, it's just, you know, you're doing it for a reason. You know, you're not doing it to make a killing. You know, you're doing
Yep.
it because of the passion that you have, you know. So
I'll tell you this story real quick, man. So I was over at Bob's house just a little bit ago before I come here, and your podcast come up. I kind of mentioned it, and then Eric's like, "Hey, you got to listen to this podcast." It was back around Halloween, and I had listened to it yet, and
are
he's
you talking
like, "Hey,
about
what?"
you talking about Seidel?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
that's my guy, man. He hits me up and he's like, bro, I listen to your podcast every week. I said, thank you, bro. Like, that's my guy.
yeah. So I'm saying this out there for anybody I hadn't heard. Like, you gave 3 stories around Halloween time, and you kind of freaked me out, just to be honest with you. It's like, but like yeah. I mean, I'm telling you that like it's out there, and you're getting known, and you're doing well, and it's not just the stories, but like it's just bringing attention to the efforts. I mean, I listened to one the other day, and y'all were talking about, what can we do to help bring conservation forward, and just different aspects. Like, that's what matters, and entertaining for sure. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's not in vain by any means.
for sure. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, Seidel, that's my guy. But yeah, them stories, they're true. I don't care what nobody says. You know, people they give me crap
I
about
can
it.
hear it in your voice, man.
It was one of them things like, you know, you hear stories about it and you're just like, yeah, whatever. But like, I know what I seen. My buddy
Yeah,
knows what he seen, and I was just like, you know, and I listened to I don't know if anybody's ever listened to it. It's called Dixie Cryptid. It's a podcast that comes on it's on Apple. And there's like he's got a ton of stories that people send him and he reads them. And like Bigfoot's, Dogman, the Rougarou out of Louisiana, and like
gotcha.
I'll listen to it when I'm at work a lot of times, or if I'm
Yeah.
driving, like if it gets dark and I'm driving, I gotta listen to
Uh,
something else because it'll freak
Crank it
me out.
off, right?
You know?
Dude, I
Yeah.
mean, and honestly, most guys probably, I think most guys would like this, but won't say it. Like, I remember watching like a scary movie the night before I go hunting the next morning. It's a little freaky.
Yeah, it is.
Walking in
It
the
is.
woods by yourself with just a flashlight and stuff moving around. I wasn't
I'm scared.
scared. Well, I'm
I'm
just
scared
saying.
of death in the dark. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hate the dark.
I hear you. I got you.
So I'll try to get in there. You know, people's like, yeah, I get in there 2 hours before daylight. Nope. I'll wait till it's breaking daylight, and I'm going the back way. You know.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I got just a quick story, dude. The freakiest thing that ever happened to me when I was hunting. I got in probably about an hour for daylight. Dead silent, no wind, no anything. I'm up a tree, dude, and then probably 30 feet away from me, I hear this young girl screaming at the top of her. Oh man, it scared the out of me, and it just kept doing it. And I'm like, what the heck is it? And then it finally got a little daylight, and I seen what it was. It was a bobcat. That's what it was, dude.
Yeah.
And I had never heard or seen, but for that hour until I could see what it was, I was like, how am I going to call the cops? Or like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, it's yeah. There's everybody got little stories like that a bit.
Yeah, they do. I got a buddy, man. He was telling me like he was walking to his tree stand and he was kind of parallel to the woods and he just felt like something was following him. And he said, so he kind of would stop and when he would stop, that like whatever he thought was following would stop.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, he said he just took off running, and he said whatever was beside him was running too, and he said he sounded like a Bigfoot that was right behind him, and he said he
It'd be
got out of
freaky.
breath, and all of a sudden, this horse comes up to him, walks up to him in the dark, and it was one of the neighbors' horses that had got loose. And I guess he thought it was, I guess he thought it was his, his owner, and he, was coming to get
Oh,
him
that
or
would
whatever.
freak anybody. Oh, that would
He said,
definitely freak me out. Yes.
so that horse walked up to him, was like wanting him to pet him, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He said,
Oh yeah, you about got shot.
"Yeah." So,
Yeah. Dang,
yeah,
dude.
man.
So,
So, going any new products or anything that you're working on now, or you gonna stick with what you got for now and let it rock?
always open. I got this. So there's, and I haven't figured it out right. Like they got the wax sticks, look like a deodorant stick. I haven't nailed it down just right. But I'd like to get some of our urines in that kind of an application too. Maybe a little easier for hunters than using the sprays, just to kind of rub it on the trees, kind of deal. And then the other piece that I haven't devoted a lot of time, but I want to figure out a bedding scent. Right. I mean, I got everything needed to make one. I mean, deer, all of them's out there and they're all doing their thing. It's just figuring out the right mix of dander and urine and bedding and to make an actual scent out of it, whether it be for the Mac Daddy, a spray, or one of those sticks. So that's what we're doing. And then on the farm side, man, I've got I probably got four. I'm probably gonna keep one of them. I got 4 2-year-olds out there that are growing. They look good. They're probably gonna average. Man, if I was gonna guess, they're probably gonna average about 250 to 280 inches. Some of them will be gnarly looking. Some of them will be big time, typical looking dudes. Ultimate Warrior's 3 years old. He's my breeder. If you check us out on Facebook or Instagram, I post like a weekly update photo of him. He's he's one of a kind. I wish I had 100 of him. That's
Yeah,
the deer I like. Like he's got the matching drops. He's got the frame. He's going to have the tall tines. Just a beautiful deer. So out there making sure that they're taken care of right now, and come October, I'll sell them, which is why most people get involved in deer farming. And just the FYI for anybody and yourself out there, right? Like, what do you sell a deer for? Is a common question, and I'll say on average, um, a pregnant doe, decent pedigree, because we do keep up in DNA, and there's a registry online that's by blood or flesh, like it's guaranteed the ancestry. Probably 2,500 to 3,500 is your going rate per pregnant doe. You're going to get some that are cheaper that don't have any pedigree. You're going to get some that are more expensive because they're proven. They've got great big genetics, big names behind them. We've got a mix here. We've got some mid range and we got some big names. And Macho Man's mama was a mid range, decent pedigree, but Lord, she has produced giants for me.
yeah,
And so on the buck side, we want to sell 2-year-olds is what we're doing, right? We're selling 2-year-old bucks. We want them to be big. And on average for me so far, about $6,000 is what I sell a buck for. And usually it's by the inch. Sometimes it's by the look. I can sell in Kentucky. I can sell out of state because I'm TB and brucellosis certified. So we can sell Illinois, Ohio. There's a few other states too out there that we'll sell to. So that's it's doing that and it's doing this business and life at the same time. So I'm trying to think. Those are the questions that typically get asked of me, and I'll quit talking now and see what else you got.
yeah. You're good, man. So, the outdoor industry, as big as it is, it's kind of hard to get your foot in the door. with some of these products that people are coming out with, especially, the new bows, some of the new arrows releases, some of the stuff. So, as big as outdoor industry is, what advice would you give somebody wanting to get into the outdoor industry, starting a business? What advice would you give them?
Well, you're going to miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? If you don't even start it, you're never going to do well, right? And I fell into that. I researched deer farming for 2 years, and I would talk about it all the time. And finally, one of my friends' dads I was talking to, he said, "Dude, you've been talking about this for 2 years. Are you going to do it?" You know what I mean? It's like the analysis paralysis, and I just did it. And you just got to do it, and you're going to fail, and you're going to do it again, and you're going to fail, and you're going to learn, and it's going to get better and better. And I mean, that's so step one, do your research and just take the step. You're not going to know everything, to just do it, get out there. And number two, find some people that you can trust, that whether you've known them for a long time or you spend enough time with them when they're already in the industry, that they don't want to sell you something, they just want to help you. Like that's the people you need. And from there, it's on you. It's hard work, it's time, it's dedication. It's not going to be easy, but man, I sure do love it. And for me, that's the off the cuff advice I would give.
Awesome. That's good, man. Well, brother, I really appreciate you hopping on tonight with your busy schedule. And man, if there's anything that I could ever do for you, just let me know. I'd like to go to some of your shows with you whenever you get a chance.
I was going to talk about that too, man. Yeah, so we got some coming up. We've got a lot of local county fairs here in Kentucky. We're going to do. I'm gonna holler at you. My mom and dad have. I need to give them a shout out real quick. I mean, they have supported me from the very beginning in this, and I would. That maybe that's another piece too. Having people that will push you and believe in you. Because my mom she's the number one saleswoman that I have seen. And she can sell deer pee to the lady getting her nails done. Like she's good. And then dad's there. He's always helping. And but he knows mom's number one, and that's okay. Mom's always number one. And I wanted to share just one quick story. I know we're getting off here too.
Oh, you good? Go ahead.
Yeah, so Deer Pimp is the name of our urine. I get the question, like, where does that come from? So back when I started deer farming, I got two buddies, Thomas and Jason, always hanging out, and Thomas, started calling me the Deer Pimp because, I mean, ain't gonna lie, that's kind of what we do, right? We're deer breeders. So when it came time to start this business, as I was thinking for a name, I'm like, what the heck am I going to call this? It's going to be catchy, and it's like, oh, Deer Pimp, right? And that's worked well for us. So now both of those guys get Deer Pee for life, right? For copyrights.
That's awesome.
So sorry. So that's it. I'll stop talking now and let you do your thing.
You're good, man. So how can folks get a hold of you if they want to ask you any questions on your social medias or whatever? Run them down.
Yeah, you got it. So heavy on Facebook, Deer Pimp Scents and Lures, Instagram, TikTok, deerpimpscentsandlures.com or deerpimp.com. It'll take you there too. And then deerpimp@yahoo.com is email. So any of those avenues, you're going to be able to get a hold of me at some way at some point, and pretty quick to respond. So if you got questions, or Lord forbid you have an issue, I don't think you will. I'll get right on it, and we'll make it right. Customer service, we're really big on. You'll be able to tell from our customer ratings out there that we take care of anybody that chooses Deer Pimp and uses us. So that's us. Should be how you get a hold of us.
Sounds good. Wes Brewer, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you, man. If y'all got any questions, you can hop on social media. You can go to Deer Pimp. You can ask me. I can get you in contact with him. This podcast will be out on Apple, Spotify, my personal YouTube page. So make sure you give it a like, comments, share it, give it a 5-star rating. It helps me out. It helps the podcast out. And you got any last words for the listeners?
Nope. Hey, Appreciate you guys. Glad you're listening, because if you're hearing this, you're listening. Keep supporting each other, and let him know that he's making a difference.
Absolutely. One thing I do want to talk about before I get off here. If you guys have not been following what's going on with the whole Mike Lee situation, out wanting to sell, I forgot how many acres it is now, 3 million some acres of public land out there in Utah, out west. Make sure you call your senators wherever you're at, because once that public land is gone, it's gone.
It is.
You know? So we need to call as many senators as we can and tell them, no, pretty much. So wherever state you're in, give your senators a call. We got to stop this. It might not, affect us here in Kentucky, but somebody out there in Utah or Wyoming, New Mexico, somewhere that this is going on with, it's going to affect them. We don't want to wait till it gets close to home before we do something about it. So I want to say that, and make sure wear your tree stand harness when you're up there. Stay safe. I want everybody to have a good season, and if you do decide to buy a Mac Daddy from Wes, make sure you give him a call, give him a post, tag him something, because I'm telling you, this thing is an absolute game changer. It might not bring in the big boy that you want at first. Hang on, he's coming. You just gotta stay out there. Time in the stand, boots on the ground. Can't kill him on your couch. So
that's right.
Well, if that's it, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you. I'm C. Will. Big game, small game, all game. We do this too. You're gonna pop off screen. You're gonna pop off screens for a second, but I'm gonna pop you right back up.
Country boy. I get up before the rooster. Put on my camo. Load up my bow and my rifle and stock the ammo. I'm a bullet with the bullet, but I'm lethal with the arrow. Always down for the hunt. Dove, turkey, and big bucks. Hit the woods and get fitted up. Mossy oak all across my fit. Don't be surprised, we do this too. I be up before the sun with my 30-06. Hard body on, I ain't worried about the kick. Yeah.